Hello, this is Dan Short, and I want to talk to you about an exciting new course called Ericksonian Choice Architecture. I have been teaching this in different places around the United States, in Mexico, and Europe, recently in Paris, and the audiences have been very enthusiastic about the content, very eager to learn more. And so for those of you who are asking what is Ericksonian Choice Architecture, I'm going to explain it right now, and so you can have an opportunity to decide whether or not this is the right training for you. A misconception that a lot of people get when they hear choice architecture is they think of covert manipulation and that you're setting out to control people at an unconscious level without them sort of being able to make their own decisions and choices. It's a similar fear that people have had around the idea of hypnosis. And that is sort of the exact opposite of what proper ethical choice architecture is. So when we have someone that can't stop thinking about dying and can't find any reason to live, or a person who can't stop cutting on themselves, or a person who feels they have no choice but to vomit after they eat a meal, they're not on a level playing field where choice is freely available to them. It's very slanted and this direction where they're stuck with this thing. Sometimes a person feels like they can't even live in the world of reality, right? And they resort to delusional thinking or whatnot, not because they have choices freely available to them, but because they have no other choice. And so what choice architecture is it's someone coming in and understanding the rules of unconscious thought, essentially, and knowing how to level the playing field so that the person is now free to choose to want to die if that is the best choice for them, or to choose to live and to be happy and enjoy their life if that is the best choice for them. So it's getting back to a level playing field where you as the consultant are choice agnostic, which means I'm not trying to make your choices for you, whether to divorce or not divorce, or have this affair or not have this affair, or quit using heroin or keep using heroin. But what I do want is a level playing field to where you're free to make the choices that you consciously and at an unconscious level know are right for you and will give you the life that you want and need. And with the exception of those people who are true sociopaths, who their mind is just super off, but with most all other folks, when given the choice to live a good life and to thrive and to be socially connected and doing things that bring love and goodness into the world, that's the choice they make. The only reason they're not making it is because it seems unavailable. That is going to be the first rule of unconscious thought that you have to know in order to work with individuals in this kind of a way. That is that the choice must be conceivable. And a lot of times therapists or coaches will come in and they'll talk to people about goals and what's a logical, rational choice. And the choices that they're saying in words for this individual are not even conceivable. Whether it's getting out of an abusive, violent relationship, or it's stopping drinking, or whatever it is, they cannot conceive of this being a real choice for them, right? So we need to know how to first address that before we can get to the next rule in the hierarchy of heuristics, which heuristics are simply rules for making decisions and choices outside of conscious awareness. The second rule is the choice must be preferable. I'm not going to choose something that's less preferable. And if quitting drinking or leaving the violent relationship seems less preferable to me, I'm not going to make that choice. So first it has to be conceivable, then it has to be preferable. To make it conceivable, we use tactics that serve the strategy. In choice architecture, it's called default participation. I'm coming to where you're at, and I'm using language, I'm using ideas, I'm using beliefs that you're already capable of. And therefore, you're already participating in this effort for you to be able to thrive without having to change who you are, right? But now you're having choices made available to you. By being you, you get to find out how to make new choices. Then what's preferable? Usually for that, we will use a strategy called promoting, and we will promote certain choices over others just to level that playing field. And then you get into the third rule is that the choices must be meaningful to the person. They must be significant. They must be worth acting on or considering. That's where we get into meaning. Involves a lot of the emotional take on things. That's where we get into framing, the strategy of how things are framed, right? And so what choice architecture does, whether you are seeing clients as a therapist or whether you are working as a certified coach, doing life coaching or transformational coaching, these understandings let you know what to say to a person and when. You understand, you can learn how to recognize the state of mind that a person's operating from, right? These are characterized by different biases. So you have a negativity bias. You can't talk to a person who has a negativity bias about the different good outcomes that are possible. Or the person that may have a positivity bias, like the woman in a domestic violence relationship where she has a positivity bias towards him and that he's going to change and that, you know, she can only think of positive things. You can't speak to that person by talking about consequences. And so there's these many different biases that create a state of mind. Choice architects understand how to work within an existing state of mind or how to help a person shift to other states of mind that better fit the current surroundings and context. So while you're in this training, you're going to be learning skills about assessment of state of mind. You're going to be learning skills about implementing new ways of thinking about the world and perceiving what's going on so that the person is able to make new choices for themselves. In other words, we're not even trying to change the people that we're working with. Unlike therapy and other forms of work that tend to be change-centric, which set you up potentially to get in a control battle with the person, these are choice-centric. And what the skills you're gonna pick up in this 8 months are how to help optimize the experience of choice, free choice, and self-determination for the people that you work with. You know, is this a self-improvement program or is this a program for working with clients? It really is going to be both, because the more aware you are of your own biases and what state of mind you might be in that sometimes is not the best for you, and how to shift out of it into another state of mind that gives you different perceptions, different memories, different cognition, different emotions. Like, it literally changes the reality as you know it. The more capable you are of these shifts, the more capable you're going to be in working with and helping others. The content has been revolutionary for me. I've seen the work that I do with my clients increase significantly. My understanding of why I say one thing and not another, I just feel so much more confident. Where does this come from? Yes, it comes from Erickson to the extent that he was doing choice architecture since he was a child. You know, many of us know the story of the cow that needed to go into the barn, and the father couldn't pull the cow in, so Erickson grabbed it by the tail, and then the cow drags Erickson into the barn, right? That cow went into a certain mindset, had a certain bias that I'll explain in the teaching, and caused it to act that certain way. When you understand how to approach and leverage a given mindset, you know exactly what to do to restore options. And for the cow, being in the barn with the winter storm coming really was the best option for that cow. And so Erickson illustrated choice architecture all throughout his life in some of the most brilliant ways that I know of. The conceptual mapping and the research comes from behavioral economics and positive psychology. These two fields are starting to overlap more and more. And as it turns out, the study of cognitive biases and heuristics overlaps with Erickson's work and provides a new cognitive or intellectual tool, conceptual tool, for understanding him in a way that's better and more detailed and precise than anything else I've ever come across to this point, making what we do evidence-based, in that there's research behind most all of it explaining why this works and when to use it. So I look very forward to working with our first group in this to come out as fully trained Ericksonian choice architects. I look forward to working with you and studying together this exciting material.